going? Dominic here. Derek.
Oh, me.
That's right.
Thanks for the intro.
That's
thanks.
you.
Yes.
This is episode 2. This is Attack of the Clones for Random Wrestling Review. This has got CGI Yoda and the old guy with the bent lightsaber.
Oh, and a Grievous robot man.
Yo, you know, I just found out the other day that Warren Fu developed the concept art for General Grievous.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy. Same guy doing all like Daft Punk, Weekend, and
That kind of
Julian's videos. No, it makes sense. It's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, this is a wrestling podcast.
No, we changed. So we're Star Wars now.
Neither one of us saw the new Star Wars movie, so
We're done. We're done with wrestling. The Star Wars now. So
I think I might do that this weekend.
go
This
see
weekend.
it.
This weekend being next weekend because today's Saturday. And I'm not doing it this weekend. But anyways, this is the weekend show. We're gonna talk about NXT, probably some random stuff. I have some extensive notes on NXT, considering I had 0 notes for our first show.
Either way, I'm sure you got some grievances. We can do this.
I always have
let it out.
grievances.
We can let it all
No,
out.
I love this show.
I thought it was really good. Really, really good.
Really, really, really like this show, and I knew I was gonna like it beforehand, just because they promoted the card last week. But I just thought
the card in general.
I thought front to back it was really good, and let's just get into it. The first match was a tag title match, Sanity versus Undisputed Era. So especially because I said it on the first episode, I'm just gonna go ahead and get to the end of it now. I knew, like a lot of other people, knew they won the tag titles because Bobby Fish just like posted it.
Yeah.
When they won them, I guess, or when they did the TV taping. So, whatever. I mean, you know.
It makes it hard with like the TV tapings and stuff sometimes, especially if something big like that changes on TV.
Yeah,
it's
I
hard.
think
You can't.
I think
it's not. You can't wait till the television. It's gonna come out.
Yeah, and I think he meant it as more of a. I think I'm using this word right. I'm pretty sure. I think he meant it as a more ambiguous thing than it ended up coming off as, because like, I think he expected to post a picture, have people see it, and be like, "Oh man, what's Undisputed Era doing with the tag titles?" When in all reality,
it was an Undisputed Era has the tag titles.
Yeah, like everybody saw the picture and their first thought was like, "Oh shit, those guys won the belts!" Like literally, that's how I found out about it. Joe actually, Joe asked me if they won the belts, and I was like, "No, why?" And then he showed me the picture, and I was like,
"Oh, then they did."
I was like, "They're doing TV, so I guess they did." And then, like I said at the end of the first episode that, the end of our first episode that, this weekend I was pretty sure they were winning. I just wasn't. When I said that, I wasn't sure if it was the episode. So, anyways, going in, I knew that, and with that said, it didn't take away from my attention to detail in the match.
Knowing it didn't really.
Knowing it didn't hurt at all, because it was still a really interesting match and a good match. And so I'll just go through what I had written down. I liked Undisputed Era's, what's it called, entrance and their hand sign, and all that. It's really cool. Trying to think. I like Sanity's entrance. I have since they debuted, but sometimes it's like a little too long.
It didn't feel long. I kind of just felt like there wasn't much to it. It was just kind of ominous walk down. And that was that.
Yeah, it's kind of what it's always been. I guess it's just because it's more of a, I don't want to say like a debut, but basically like the same way like the Shield's entrance lost their effect because it used to be like, oh, those the crazy guys coming from the side.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, that's what the Shield does. Anyways, I just was throwing it in there because I said something about Undisputed Era's entrance. So with that said, I was reminded, and I forgot how much I like the NXT title match pre-match stuff where they only do the white lights and they lower the lights and all that. And it's funny because as I was making this note, Joe like tapped me and we were watching it together today, and he was like, "Why the fuck are the lights like that?" So I don't know. I just thought that was
like
funny.
a mood setter.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It just makes it different and makes it feel cool. So,
but also let you know like, oh, this is coming, even though most people know. But if you don't,
just like. It like works well with their color scheme too, like the black and yellow, and like, I don't know. It's just nice. It looks good. So that was good. I liked that. The beginning of the match is awesome. I loved how Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly were both being like, I don't know. It was like a mix between like Ric Flair and like MMA.
Oh, with the trade off, because I have that on mine too, where they just kind of kept tagging
Yeah, and just like
back
acting
in
like
and
whoa,
out.
whoa, whoa, back up and like going to
Yeah.
the ropes. But
Oh
at the
yeah,
same
though
time,
we don't do that.
yeah, I said we don't play those games.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish kept saying that. That was funny. That was cool. And then, but specifically, what made it different and like stand out to me was the fact they were going up to him and doing like serious strikes. And this goes back to what we were talking about before we started recording this episode. To me, that was why Dane looking so strong. Again, like, you know, O'Reilly hit him with a bunch of stuff and was like, really? Or it might have
Yeah.
been Bobby Fish, but I think it was Kyle O'Reilly. I just think they did a good job making Killian Dane look strong, and I think that's important because he's going into the Fatal 4-Way that's supposed to be determining a number one contender for the NXT title.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's important that you don't, even if most people expect and like kind of low-key know that he's not going to win that Fatal 4-Way, I think booking-wise you're still supposed to treat it like you're leading the fan to believe that he could. So
Yeah, you know, you're kind of getting him ready. You know, he should be there. There's a reason.
Yeah,
You know,
I like
thing.
I like that he lost for that reason, and I also liked how strong he looked throughout the match for that reason.
I like how it was, you know, a surprise for most everyone there. It was very a quick situation where it seemed like, oh, this shouldn't have happened, but it did.
Yeah, and to me it shows that they're definitely gonna run with Undisputed Era. I mean, you know, that was obvious from their debut, but I don't know. Sometimes people have awesome debuts.
There was
less awesome runs. So
there was a
seems like
lot
it's gonna be
of
a good
really
run.
cool factors of that match.
Yeah, let's see. I wrote down one thing I was confused about. I still haven't decided how I feel about it. I probably won't go back and watch it because there's just so much to watch, and I don't know if it's important enough. But I just guess I'm leaving my feelings undecided on right now. I don't know if I liked or I wrote. I don't know if I loved or hated the way Sanity got the hot tag from Eric Young to Killian Dane, because he like almost got there and then Kyle O'Reilly stopped him. And then he just kind of like pushed him off or something. He did something very lackluster, and then he still tagged him. And it was just one of those things.
I noted that. I was like, oh, I really like that old school strategy of keeping the one guy in. You know, they do that a lot, but in certain matches, they really focus on it, and it looks good in certain situations. And I thought it was cool, but I did the same thing. I was like, oh, the tag just kind of.
The hot tag it seemed like they were trying too hard to change something that you don't need to change. Like it works for the reason that it works. So anyways, it's not even really worth commenting on, but I wrote it down because I thought it. But I love Dane's comeback off the hot tag, and all the series of moves that he did, including the Michinoku driver. While Fish was laying down, that shit was sick.
Yeah, because he did the Michinoku driver to the splash little thing.
I guess a senton, sitting pin.
Yeah, I noted that
awesome.
too. I'm alone watching it alone, and I react and like yell.
Yeah, that was great, and Morrow is great. That's another reason I really enjoy watching NXT.
Yeah.
Morrow's great, and so is Nigel McGuinness. And I honestly, Percy is the other guy. I don't care for him too much, but
yeah,
Nigel's really good, and Morrow's really good. So, anyways, I kind of went from the middle back in terms of my notes for this match, just because I was really watching the beginning, and so I wrote that the hot tag was what it was. Loved the series of moves by Dane, and previous to that, and this goes back to what we first started talking about, I really enjoyed the strikes coming from Kyle O'Reilly, and the corner tag team. The corner tag team wrestling and overall move-based wrestling from Sanity. I felt like every time they did a tag, Undisputed Era did a tag, you saw a bunch of strikes and like cool headlocks and stuff. And on the other side, every time Sanity got a tag, you saw some kind of, if it wasn't a tag team move, some kind of like variation on a basic wrestling, but like a grappling move. Like
because I believe their first tag was
or,
where like the backbreaker to the like elbow drop, I think it was.
Yeah, exactly. They were doing a bunch of cool moves like that, and Eric Young hit a bunch of sweet neck breakers in this match.
Oh,
so
the one where Kyle hits him with the knee coming off the top, and then he hits the neck breaker. That sequence right there, really.
Yeah, I have that. I actually have that written down.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite sequences of the whole match.
And then slight annoyance. I guess you could call it nitpicking, but I think that I'm just right about this. Who knows? I guess if anyone cares enough to tell me that I'm not or that I am, go ahead. But point being, move-based wrestling was enjoyable. Eric Young was specifically awesome, like I just said, with the neck breaker and stuff. Oh, okay, so I understand that the ref is, and in wrestling, the telltale, whatever, like the ref is distracted so he can't hear anything. But why, when Cole first interfered, when Eric Young's on the top rope and he pushed him off, why does the ref show no look of confusion as to why he turned around in time to see Eric Young fall off the top rope?
Yeah.
Why did he completely no-sold the situation? He just looked.
He doesn't react to the fact that he's falling for no reason.
Yeah. Well, no, but don't question, did somebody push him? Just, oh shit, that guy just fell.
Yeah.
Like, sell what just apparently happened. What apparently Adam Cole just got away with convincing you, because it looks like 1989 video game style. Oh, it's not important enough to worry about. You know what I mean? Like,
well, even more so, there was no acknowledgement of Cole ever, really.
Well, no,
until
Nikki
Nikki came out, and I thought that was super cool. I love
that was great. That was great, but hold on. To stay on the specific of the ref and Adam Cole,
yeah.
I don't care that he didn't acknowledge him coming out. I'm just saying, and I don't even think he should have said anything or acted suspicious of Adam Cole. He just literally should have showed some kind of face of, oh shit, he fell.
Any kind of reaction at all.
He didn't do anything. And he turned around at that moment. I wrote that down specifically because I thought that was strange. But onto what you were just saying, Nikki Cross attacking Adam Cole was awesome. It was.
They're starting to do that more, where they're starting to let the females interact more so physically with males more often.
Yeah,
and it's just and especially someone like her, it's so believable. Like I believe without a doubt that she could come out there and kick Adam Cole's ass. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It just felt good, and more so with the team. Like obviously.
Well, she pounded on him after too.
She came out, gave him the crossbody, and then just started wailing on him, and he just covered up. Cool. It was very believable.
And the way he sold it after, when he was like, "Get her out of here," I thought he was a really good kind of heel to have done that kind of thing too.
Yeah, he was like he's supposed to be there, and she's not. Type, it just
and just like all pretty boy. Like I don't know, it was just cool. I like that.
Very very Triple H-y.
Yeah, definitely. So that was dope. And then the smacks inside the ring from Eric Young, the open hand smacks to Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish that led into his last sleeping neck breaker, that was really cool. Here's something, second issue with the match. Adam Cole tries to interfere the second time when there's a pin happening.
Yeah, he just tries to run into the ring.
But what's the goal? It's the thing that Dane ends up stopping him from doing, and then Adam Cole gets off his shoulder and pushes Dane into the turnbuckle, so they explain that that's how Dane's knocked out. I'm fine with that. But what is Adam Cole initially trying to do? Because if he succeeds at whatever he's trying to do, then Undisputed Era is disqualified and the match is over.
Yeah, so if you really want to dig deeper
but you should,
that.
It's illogical. He's not trying to do anything. What's he trying to do?
Yeah.
He's trying to end the match. It doesn't. And then his plan got foiled, and the match didn't end.
If anything, Killian ruins actually makes them lose by
kept the chances up. Yeah, just based off that one illogical move. But whatever, you could call it nitpicking because the finish after that, based off the fact that Dane was knocked out, which, like I just explained, I understand and I'm okay with. I just think the reason behind Dane lifting Cole on his shoulder could have been, I don't know, anything else. Why didn't Adam Cole just fucking try and jump at Dane off the second rope from the apron or something?
Or just kick his ass. You know what I mean? Like that could be just that simple. He gets a hold of him, picks him up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like they would just be very believable.
Whatever. So those are my two small issues because the finish they were quickly made up for because the finish was awesome. I liked their tag team finish, the leg sweep.
I liked it. I liked how it was smooth, but also looked like it was just kind of like, boom.
Looked like in a way, looked like it was real, and the way you get just knocked
down. We just caught him, and it worked, and then it was kind of like one of those moments where you thought it was just gonna be false, and you're like, oh, this isn't it, but then it was, and you were like, it kind of led more to the surprise factor of you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, very happy overall that they won. So. Overall, I'm happy with the match. I guess I give it a 6 or a 7 because just about everything was awesome, but those two illogical points, specifically the latter, because the ref thing was just something I noticed. I guess other people could not care, but the Adam Cole, what could he be trying to do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna grab the ref, and then the match will be over and we'll be fucked.
It doesn't really make sense, but there are not very many people are gonna.
Yeah, and whatever.
Take that little factor and think about it.
The rest was really great too, so I liked the match.
Yeah, ultimately, I think that was I while watching it, I picked at it the least out of all the matches.
I think I picked at that one the most, honestly. but I liked it overall. That's
and I'm just
saying
more
much.
so. I'm very much for them being the tag champs. I would let them run with it forever.
Yeah, and
I
think
love them as a team.
I think maybe Sanity's coming up. I think that could have been the reason they had such a short
That very
run.
well could be. I was thinking about that too. I was like, the only really reason I could see them not keep the titles run was very short. It didn't really have much to it. There wasn't.
I mean, it was 4 months, dude.
It was, but I feel like they're not that much happened to make it, exciting or crazy.
Definitely.
It was very, normal title run. But
We'll see.
if anything, the cool, let them come up. And more so put them on Raw. Raw needs it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd enjoy
maybe
it.
maybe SmackDown though, because
I feel like SmackDown's kind of stacked. Not stacked, but their tag team division right now is looking way better than Raw's at the moment.
maybe, but SmackDown is like the TNA safe haven, except with the exception of Joe, between Bobby Roode and AJ doing well there.
That's true.
So Eric Young could maybe have some comfortability between those two guys in terms of opponents. And really, my actual point in saying it is, because I was just thinking off the top of my dome as I said what I just did, but actual reason saying it is, I don't think you need any kind of clashing of the Shield and Sanity when you could have the two of them on different shows.
Very true. And you got to think when you bring it up, you bring them all up, and Nikki would probably do really well.
Oh yeah.
You got to think about that too.
Yeah, and because she could technically, even though she's crazy dark character, she could play face, and they need face women on.
Yeah, because there's literally two of them at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
I mean, obviously there's more, but for the most part, you have two very big.
Yeah, until hopefully Becky will be back soon. I think she will.
I believe she's supposed to be for Rumble, but who knows? I think they're all supposed to be back very soon. I'm pretty sure I read something that the Miz is supposed to be back pretty soon too.
We'll see. I think it's he's out for his kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
His kid being more.
Well, they were doing the movie stuff and then the kid stuff for him specifically.
Quickly, on the subject of women, did you hear about the thing with Steph? How it was a shoot? How they didn't know?
No.
The women's Rumble, the girls in the ring genuinely didn't know. They got told right before they went out that Steph had a big announcement, and then that was it.
Well,
so the reactions
honestly, that's
on
kind of
TV
cool.
were real. That's very cool.
I like that. You know what I mean? More so, it's just like that adds more to the specialness of it being like, for them, it's a big thing. It's kind of, you don't get that often. You don't get a surprise working like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I heard that this week. Thought it was cool. What else did I hear this week? I thought was interesting. They're skipping past the one fall thing now. They're not pausing for one.
No,
fall.
yeah, I read something about that, and I'm kind of confused as to why it matters that much.
Because Vince, there's crowd participation. This is my understanding. So it's not factual information. I'm just saying. I think there's Vince's mind, there's a difference between crowd participation and mock. It's like what you said before. I think it goes back to your issue where people are too involved and are constantly looking for something.
Yeah.
So Vince is like, fuck that. Don't give them the moment. Just skip past it and talk over them.
Very true. I guess it's more so that's one of the things that's not that, crazy of a deal.
Yeah, but it's his.
But
oh
yeah, absolutely.
To him, that's the one thing tearing it down. So.
I'm definitely, I'm I'm definitely a big advocate for the new age, banter, if you will, of the crowds. It's just a little weird.
You're an advocate for less of it. No?
Less of it, yeah. Basically, I understand where he's coming from, but that one didn't bug me as much as all the other, stuff that goes on.
Yeah, I guess I can understand it in a way that if you're supposed to have a Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather level fight. You don't have people knowing on time the synchronized chant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You shut the fuck up while that match is getting announced. Other than just going yeah.
I guess, it's more so you just take it seriously type thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows?
And I mean, you some of those things. Look at the Cesaro beach ball thing. Certain stuff like that. That gets to the wrestlers themselves. So, it very well could be another situation where other people don't like it either.
Yeah, exactly. There could be some popular people who don't find that chant to be so popular. So we'll move on from there. I'm trying to think of any of this week's before we continue with the NXT stuff. I'm trying to think of any other random news I heard this week that was interesting. Yo, the XFL.
Yeah, Vince said, you know what, we need another situation where I need to lose some money.
I think straight up he said if Donald Trump could be president, then
honestly,
I can
my
own the
realistic
XFL.
look at it is he goes, the NFL is down right now. Like right now,
It's not that down.
it's not that down. It's not that down. But you know what I mean. In reality, what's going on in everyone? He goes, this is an opportunity to maybe cash in on other people wanting to not watch it for whatever reasons they think they don't want to watch it.
It's possible, but
And also, it's
I'm not-
Vince.
I'm
Vince
not
thinks
betting on
he's
it.
a genius to everything, and he generally is when it comes only to wrestling. Anything else he's done, not so hot.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I just thought that was
Who cares? I don't. I'm gonna love it. Bring back He Hate Me.
nice. Yeah, my favorite player. All right, we'll finish with the NXT stuff. I'll try and I know there's something I'm forgetting that I heard this
It's
week.
there.
That's
It's on the
like,
tip of the tongue.
Yeah, it's cool. It's something cool. I think.
We hope.
Who knows? So, anyways, that was the first match. It was awesome. Backstage, there was this. I forget the fucking name of their team,
Oh,
but I really like these guys.
Heavy
especially the
Machinery?
Heavy Machinery.
I love them. They're
And
hilarious.
I really like the insane looking one. The one who doesn't.
Oh
look like-
yeah, the one who looks like
he's a
he was
real
gonna
person.
actually kill somebody.
Yeah, the guy who's gonna lift the car. I forget
Yeah.
his name right now too, but I really love
I'm
him.
not. I'm not very in touch with the newer
NXT stuff.
Yeah, especially like the newer stuff. Like what's the other guys, the fancy guys? Yes,
I don't know their name either. I forget their name.
it's like
also.
San Martino and Moss or whatever,
That's
something like that.
I don't know. I don't want to say yeah. and be
Yeah.
wrong. All I know is Heavy Machinery. I've watched squash a couple guys a couple weeks ago on NXT TV, and that was cool. And I just came to like them from the match, and I like their stakes and weights thing.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. And I just thought
Their
that
gear
whole
is sick too. Is the caterpillar, like
yeah.
It's
that's
just
right.
it goes with the whole theme. I thought that was pretty cool.
Definitely. So that was good. And then we went to Roddy and Lars, and I really liked. I put as a note after this match because again I was kind of enticed in what was happening, but I really liked that everything. I was gonna say with the exception of the tag match, but maybe not. That one might have also. I just can't remember. But everything, possibly not the tag match, but everything else got like a pre-match like video package and like.
I
or some
noticed
kind
that
of
because they're
promo.
doing the struggle thing with Roderick.
Oh yeah, I mean those newspaper clippings were pretty crazy.
Yeah, it definitely especially if people haven't been watching long, or just in general don't look into things further than just watching things on television. You're like, oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
and then I liked how Lars was more like Kane-esque, like his
yeah.
video package.
It was like more so like they were both very WWE packages.
yeah, but in like two different ways.
yeah,
That
but
was
then
cool.
different ends of the spectrum.
So the match was good. It starts with the really hard chops by Roderick, and they're very cool chops because Lars is so big that you can do that. And so I thought that was really cool. In his entrance and through the match, and every time I see the guy, I realize Lars' leg, the one without the knee brace thing, is just fucking enormous. It's like it's
Yeah,
got to be the size of my torso. It's huge. It is so big. It's so fucking weird.
Sometimes you look at like someone like him and other people like Braun, and you're just like,
What happened?
what kind of nuclear accident happened where these men are the size of redwoods?
What does your parents look like? Like, what is your dad like?
Yeah, because like to me, my dad is a larger, scarier version of myself that I'll never know that kind of power. So this guy's dad.
Yeah, but I feel like when you wind up like those guys, it's got to be the opposite. Your dad.
Yeah, you got tiny dad, and you beat up your dad, and you're like, yeah, never
Yeah.
talk to me again, dad.
Yeah. Or you still listen to your dad, but you're just like he's like small. I don't know. That's my
Very
that's
respectable.
basically, like,
He's probably one of those like very respectable. Like he's probably still scared of tiny dad because it's dad.
Joe saw Lars and for some reason turned and asked me, fuck did he ask me? Oh, so this guy Russian or something? And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure they said in his entrance he's from fucking Denver. And then at that moment, Lars like growled at the screen or something, and I like looked at Joe, just joking around. I was like, "Smoke trees."
I mean, I guess I could see that just
funny.
because of the red, and
I think
He kinda looks like-
Vladimir Kozlov. I
he
think
was
that's
thinking of
actually-
Zangief from Street Fighter.
Okay, yeah, that's fair
What-
enough.
Same thing, all the same thing. They all wearing the same gear.
Yep, any guy wearing those colors, he's Russian. That's it.
red trunks, red.
Kristaps Porzingis bears a somewhat of a resemblance to the Russian from Rocky whatever that one's the Rocky 3, I think.
Oh,
So I guess I'm gonna start just assuming Porzingis is
he's Ivan Drago.
Damn, Ivan Drago. Too soon. Rest in peace. Yo, quick shout out to our sponsors, the Rocky film franchise and Sylvester Stallone as a whole.
Sly, we thank you for all the support and money that you.
I think actually he might have gotten called out in some of that weird sexual harassment stuff that's going on lately. So, not him, but the movies. Just
the robot in the movies. You know what I'm talking about.
Really more of the message of Rocky. Moving on. Roderick, Strong, and Lars had an awesome match, big leg. Okay, so the lariat from Lars Sullivan in the middle of the match, that center. Big guy, little guy always do it, but it is kind of like either special or not, depending on little guy's sell and big guy's connection and like timing and all that. So I just thought they did a really good job with that. I love that Morrow knew to call it a lariat. I feel like if that happened on Raw, Michael Cole would have called it a clothesline. Or, probably just said like, he took him out or some shit. So, Roddy's superplex on Lars was really good. That was pretty crazy.
I think that's what really made me more into the match is they're doing the thing where he's big and it's very he's unbeatable. But this particular match, they didn't make him look invincible. Like Roddy was able to do like you don't see like people like Braun. Or Brock getting superplexed, and if they do, it's someone big or a big name, if you will.
Definitely
doesn't happen that often. So I did like that fact because I've talked to you before. I'm not big into the unbeatable big guy thing, especially with how many there are recently. But this one definitely looks a little better in the sense of they don't make him invisible. Like his moves hurt him.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of attention to detail with Lars Sullivan. I like Lars Sullivan.
They seem to love I like him. I'm not this guy's it. I enjoy watching him, but they seem to you can tell they're running with this guy. He's gonna be something.
Yeah, he's big and he's a beast. I like him a lot. So Roddy superplex is dope. His Olympic slam was really good. Kurt saw it and was like, that's right. That's supposed to look like.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
God damn it. You don't just drop him. Even though for the record, I liked all the little drop ones he did with Cesaro on the table.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it could have been better.
Yeah, it's better when it's like a full circle like Roddy did. So, Olympic Slam, Superplex are great. His knee strikes to Lars Sullivan were really, really good. And then, expectedly and understandably, Lars won with the freak accident. But I actually was like, I popped the most to the pop-up power slam just before the freak accident. I was really into that.
That was
good. I felt like that was a good way to explain that the match was about to end. So
my only pick, it felt extremely short. Like I feel like maybe it was just me kind of getting spaced out, but it was I just felt like it was like boom.
It might not have been that long, but he hasn't had long matches, and
yeah, that's true. And understandably, he's a big guy. And he's gonna hurt you.
Long or not, Roderick Strong still took it to him in the short amount of time that they had.
That is true. More so than anyone else, and that was cool.
So then Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, UK title. We got promo packages again. Or actually, we got an interview with Tyler Bate beforehand. Really awesome chain wrestling from the beginning. A lot of targeting of the hands and fingers on both guys' ends. And I liked that a lot. It just reminded me of watching. I know this has been going around online and just in general about Pete Dunne for some time. But specifically watching the beginning of this match. And again, kind of both guys, but definitely Pete Dunne. Just reminded me of William Regal, and it was just really cool to watch two guys wrestle on WWE TV like that at the end of 2017.
Yeah,
2018.
You don't see that just at all anymore, really. There's very, very little of that, and it's definitely refreshing. I noticed it right away. I was like, man, this feels.
Well, I mean, it's the British style. It's more Matt. You see it over there and the thriving stuff they have over there, and I mean, Marty does that kind of shit all the time, but I thought this was really
especially
cool.
They love the finger stuff. Marty does the finger stuff too, man. They love hurting those fingers
because it's good. It's
off.
Good stuff. it gets a reaction, and
it did. There's times where I was cringing, especially when he started bending him backwards and putting him on the mat and stomping his arm. Like
cool.
it just made me cringe because I'm just thinking of it being real. Like I'm like, oh god, and then him taking the time to pop his fingers back into place, that kind of stuff. It just really just helped.
A lot of attention on both guys' ends with all the moves that were that they gave each other. It was awesome. Superplex from the steps to the floor was great.
Oh, it was like really nice. It was like a good.
Shit looked like it hurt.
It was a good medium between those long drawn out superplexes and a snap.
It was almost like it was like a slow snap suplex.
Yeah, and it just, you could tell, and those floors. I was noticing that. I don't know why, but I noticed that the floors are a little different. They're not like a padding. They're like a plastic almost.
Yeah, that shit looked like.
Yeah, and either way, it looked.
Bait ate it on his.
Oh yeah.
Legs.
His did you notice his ear?
What about it?
This is started bleeding from like the inside.
Oh, I did notice because I saw the ref get his gloves on.
Yeah, he put the gloves on.
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't sure where, so that makes sense. He just must have smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, more so, I'm like, oh, that's internet.
So superplex steps, the ground, great. The forearms on both sides throughout the match, but specifically at this point earlier in the match were really awesome. At this point, I started to notice the match went longer, or at least it felt like it was going a lot longer than I would have guessed they'd let them go on TV. And that's not a complaint. It's just simply it's like something I thought in the middle of the match, so I figured I'd write it down. Heavy slap from Tyler Bate to Pete Dunne. Open hand was fucking awesome.
Oh, man.
Thing sounded like it hurt real bad, and that was cool. The apron strikes towards the end of the match that ended in a rolling kick by Tyler Bate, where he did the flipping kick in the apron. You know what I'm talking about? They got outside to the apron, they were hitting each other with really hard forearms, and then Tyler Bate did a front flip. I just thought that was really cool because for that brief second between the way it was being filmed, I guess just because the way it had to be filmed for the sake of that specific spot, but just in general, that spot as a whole, it really kind of reminded me of like New Japan and the way that kind of all their guys like to work and flip either off the apron or do moves onto the apron, like kind of Ring of Honor, but more New Japan. It just reminded me.
That's how I feel about their style, though. It just really has.
Well, they call themselves British Strong Style.
Yeah, it's almost like you're mixing the best of all those worlds, and that's what I really the aggressiveness of the match is really what drug me in. And I know that's kind of Pete Dunne's thing, but even Tyler Bate, it just makes you, like I said, it makes you cringe sometimes. You're like, man, they're really.
I actually have that. I have that coming in. Well, no, I have two notes. One is about Dunne, but
especially like the punches, like where like you're obviously watching, and I mean, they're giving it to each other. They're really just whomping on each other.
When Bate jumped off the top rope into the forearm, that looked really good. When he went to dive at Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne just fucking clocked him with his forearm. And then right after that, he picked him up for the X-Plex into the sit-out powerbomb. I actually fell for that finish. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I should have known he was going to do the bitter end, but to win the match later on. But I fell for that false finish. I thought he was going to beat him with that. So Tyler Bate was awesome kicking out of that late. And then what I was just getting at, to come back to the point you were making, awesome heavy strike by Tyler Bate on the outside after he does that shoulder rebound spot where he puts his arms out and he comes off the ropes. It was cool when he did it inside the ring, but it was way cooler when he did it outside. Not even just because he was outside and he did that cool spot, but because he just hit I don't even remember now. I should know I wrote it down for a reason. He either smacked him or he forearmed him really hard, and I like that.
They definitely made it apparent that that's what they're there to do. They like the other matches. The other matches are just as aggressive, just as strong striking style, and even more so having earlier in the night having someone like Fish and O'Reilly doing similar striking stuff, but it really.
I think they're in similar worlds, but I definitely think it culminated in this match because they were smacking the shit out of each other.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost like it started out the night like, okay, it got you ready almost, and then by the end of the night, you're just beating the piss out of each other.
So I really enjoyed that. I really liked the way Tyler Bate did a dive to the outside because it looked very real. But I hated the way the camera angle they used. They stood right next to Pete Dunne and kind of filmed from under him. So it just looked less cool than I think it would have.
Yeah, because it doesn't. There's sometimes when they get that angle and it just it just kind of looks bad. It doesn't look like anything's happening to anyone because of the angle.
It downplays the height
Yeah.
and like the jump. So there was that. Then
I loved. Just going back to what you said. I like most of the false finishes were very tasteful. There were
that's
a few.
actually my next note is this. The other false finish I didn't fall for, but it was still obviously very good because the crowd reacted.
Yeah, none of them I really like had an issue with. And sometimes I do when there's like a little, I did notice that there was a good amount in this one, and most of them were for Tyler Bate. And so you think, you're thinking, he's got it, and then he doesn't. But then I kind of changed my mind. I was like, honestly, most of those were very tasteful, and the fact that that's just how Pete Dunne's style is. You kind of always think he's about to lose it.
Yeah, I
or
know
more
what you
so
mean.
in his matches prior, you're like, oh man, this is finally it, and it just, he's the bigger.
Specifically referencing the Gargano match that
Yeah.
they last showed, definitely. The corkscrew flip thing was cool by Tyler Bate, but I wish he had hit it. He missed him. There's no other way to really say it. He kind of went over him, and the announcers tried to save it, Morrow specifically, and say that didn't like they always do in the sense of he didn't get all of it, and then fucking what's his name? The other announcer I just said it a second ago, and now I'm drawing a blank on for some reason. The guy who's on the 205 too, Nigel McGuinness. Actually covered it up and was like, "Oh, I think Dunn was trying to move," and it's just like. Not that I'm blaming either guy, other than Tyler Bate kind of overshooting, but it's just I just wish Dunn either actually had shown that he was moving more, or I wish that he almost commentary wise didn't go that extra mile and say that because it just made it more clear that he missed.
Yeah, sometimes I notice he has a little
Still
bit
cool,
of a lot of no selling situations, which is understandable with his thing.
Pete Dunn.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that too much. I just think he could have. I don't know. I don't even know what I
did. You?
I
something I wrote down. There was a point later in the match when I don't know if it was just me, but the crowd just looked not into it.
Well, that's why I wrote what I did earlier in the match. I don't think anyone thought the match was going to be as long as it was.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a bad thing because this match was really good and specifically.
No, I wouldn't have done it any other way. I honestly, I after watching it, I was like, man, that was.
Well,
that was
getting
perfect.
to the end of not only my notes but the show as a whole here. The fucking beautiful reversal and landing of Pete Dunne out of the super German suplex off the top rope. He landed on his feet. He made it look like he barely landed on his feet. Tyler Bate actually still went through with the move. It just all looked very real. And then right away he got up and he hit him with the bitter end. And that's
very fluent and believable. Like, he just reversed it, and hit his move. It just made sense visually. Nothing looked off.
No, I just like when a match ends, such a championship match, and you go, that's why that guy's a champion.
That's true.
That's what I felt. That's what exactly.
There's some times though where I feel like he hit him with the same move earlier and it didn't work. But
no, he didn't hit him. He didn't hit him with the bitter end earlier.
I'm pretty sure he hit it.
No,
times,
he hit him.
That's right.
That's the X-plex into the
Yep.
powerbomb thing I was talking about. That's why I said I fell for that because I.
Yeah, you thought that was it.
Pete Dunne enough. I thought that was it. I was like, damn, that move was so cool. That had to be. But then when I saw the bitter end at the end, I was like, that's right, that's his move. I just don't. I see him so few and far between with the NXT TV. So
yeah, that's my thing. I'd love to see them so much more.
Well, 2-3 weeks ago, I was at an Evolve show in Queens, and I did a meet and greet with William Regal, and I actually asked him if the UK guys at NXT and WWE use would be featured anytime in the near future any more than they have, or any more regularly or week to week or whatever, on either show, 205 or NXT. And he just basically answered honestly in that, like, a lot of them are young. Even the ones that aren't young, they don't, leaving the UK, it's a whole nother country, and it's not Canada. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not that easy. A lot of the Canadian guys it's still a struggle, especially from a lot of the guys in interviews that I've heard. The Canadian guys, it's still a hell of a struggle for them. So I can only imagine.
I think there's a reason guys like Finn waited till so long in their career to come, because he's older. He can, and now knowing the money from WWE is solid because he made a name for himself beforehand, he can afford to travel back and forth.
Yeah, I'm sure travel's a whole lot easier for him.
But still, the travel itself is fucking
rigorous.
Crazy.
Because he's still got to be back, for someone who's on Raw on the main roster. It's not like you can go for long.
So basically, that mixed with the really young age of a lot of them, especially all the British strong style guys. Or actually, I don't know. Believe Trent Seven's older than them, but still.
He seems a little older, but I wouldn't know.
Tyler Bates is 20 and fucking Pete Dunne's 24. That's an early age to move full time. Pretty much more days than they're working more days than there are in a year. Amounts of dates. I
was actually thinking about that during the match. I was like, these guys come all the way from England to Orlando, Florida, or wherever the show might happen to be. But most of the time, before they started traveling a lot was most of their shows were in Orlando. Like, that's got to be a hell of a trip, man.
But these guys in specific that we're talking about right now, they just string it along with what they're already doing.
Yeah.
Because that was the other part of what Regal said to me that actually made the most sense. Is these guys they get to do both. They get to wrestle wherever they want. In terms of Pete Dunne specifically, he gets to walk around with a WWE title and still be an indie guy.
How open is it though with them?
It's open. It's WWE uses them when they need them.
Yeah.
If they don't need them, they're allowed to do whatever they want.
So
because the demand is from WWE.
Yeah.
They're trying to expand to Britain. It's not a bunch of guys from Britain who need the job. They don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they care in the way that they like
but
working for
ultimately,
But no,
they're just doing what they want to do.
They want to live in England. They want to, or wherever they live, they want to wrestle for.
Even more so, they're starting to get a whole lot bigger, shows. Or more so bigger, names going out there now, especially like with bigger names coming out of there, like even like Marty, and then I saw.
I'd say England has the strongest wrestling scene right now.
Yeah.
It's stronger than Japan and stronger even than the recent.
And more so growing
American
faster,
indies are stronger.
too.
Absolutely. American indies are stronger than they've probably either ever been or at least than they've been in like 20 plus years. And I still think British wrestling is the strongest because, it just is. And it's the most wrestling there is. They do mat wrestling.
Yeah, it's very like to the definition wrestling.
So yeah, that was NXT. It was a good show. We talked about the Raw Women's Rumble shoot. That was interesting news. Just trying to think. Any last couple things before we go? Oh, here's one thing. I know that Impact Wrestling, or I heard that WWE is looking into Bobby Lashley and EC3. Oh, I see. Yeah, that was the last thing. Earlier this week, Eric had, I won't even say updated me, more came and asked me if I had heard anything about War Machine from Ring of Honor going to WWE. And actually earlier today I heard about a couple different indie people going. One group being War Machine after Wrestle Kingdom. They're going to go. That's what I heard.
How would you think they work though? Because they're very similar in a sense to some other guys in WWE.
I think they would do really well.
I think them it would do well, but just look at like someone like the Heavy Machinery guys. It feels like a similar thing, just different theme, if you will.
I know what you mean, but if it's honestly in a booking sense becomes that obvious that like this is too much matchup, just don't have them that pair off against that one team. But I think in general, I think they're going to thrive.
Oh, they would do.
Ray Rowe is really good. Is cut out for WWE.
Imagine them and someone like the Bludgeon Brothers. Like that's a real.
Yeah, dude. Luke Harper versus Ray Rowe or Luke Harper versus Hanson. That's a good match.
Yeah,
so,
a good big guy match too, like a real big guy match.
And I heard Ricochet as well. So maybe
I heard Ricochet, but only because Sean was telling me that Lucha season 4 was canceled or something like that.
No,
or they could be wrong.
It's actually coming back. But
oh, is it?
But because the budget's a lot smaller, they're letting a lot of contracts go to save money. So now it's not the same demand.
He's one of those guys that I would love to see, but also I feel like would be in a situation like 205, and I wouldn't be able to see his real style.
No,
you don't think?
Would. The latter part of what you just said, yes, because I get what you mean. He's not going to be able to do like flip pile drivers, so I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are certain guys like Owens. Owens is so cut out, and Sami Zayn, so cut out for the indies. But that's why they should and are in running WWE. Yeah, because they're so.
Don't get me wrong.
So
I would absolutely
wrestling.
Be so sold on that. I'd be ecstatic.
I think that if and also you have to look at it this way: if Ricochet is gonna get used in WWE in a tag team or cruiserweight format, That's how he was used in Japan.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean it's
exactly.
going to make for bad TV.
No, it won't be bad at all.
I personally don't think that, because I think that between how cut up that guy is, the fact that he's young, he's got a cool name, he's got a following.
Do you think he would come over as Ricochet?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And in general, with a lot of those guys now, I think there's.
Yeah, I think Vince has really gotten over that, and just
It just depends on. I think it depends on the guy, but I don't think I think that name already works. It's not a. He might even be, but who knows? You know what? Who knows? Actually.
Yeah.
But also look at Finn. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If anything, I loved Devitt and the way that was, but Finn Balor is literally just as cool, if not cooler at some points.
Yeah, because I heard not too long ago that it's not only the demon killer, that whole demon king, whatever. That I know that's a thing, but aside from that, like his dad's name is Finn or something.
So yeah, it's something like there's so much there was more to it. I remember seeing something about that as well.
Yeah, so that's really cool, especially because I remember I was one of the people jokingly when he first got signed to WWE being like, "Oh wow, they saw that he was Irish, so they just named him Finn."
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, they're not. They're not going to call the man Fergal.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Because people over here be like, "What?" They do now.
But that was the big news I heard, and then a potential rumor. I'll cap it off with this, so we can edit up the show and get it together for Saturday. I heard right now it's strictly like rumor, or at least more so rumor than any kind of truth. I heard they may be bringing in a new U.S. title that looks a little bit more like the Intercontinental title and kind of the way the U.S. title used to look in WCW. But I also heard, to contradict that, okay, so basically, long story short, this report is initially based off of a South Carolina house show promotion that included a picture of Baron Corbin holding this U.S. title that looked the way I just described, but it's clearly very poorly photoshopped, and it turns out it was just laziness on the part of the promotional team for whatever venue the house show is being held at. Because if you zoom in on the same belt and picture, there's like a little watermark next to the base of the plate of the belt, and it's the same watermark from the same image of. It's just like a fan created belt.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that not months ago, but like a month.
No, a long
so
time
ago.
ago. Yeah, no, me too.
It's resurfaced a couple of times and stuff, but I did hear stuff about the U.S. title, and that's why they're doing the thing with Dolph.
Exactly, that's the only reason I thought it was worth mentioning.
But hopefully, it's not anything like that picture, because I'm not.
Well,
a fan.
it's like, but it kind of only makes the most sense, and I'm saying that sarcastically, and then also unfortunately, possibly realistically, in that they hate Dolph Ziggler so much in terms.
They
of
would give him the worst title ever.
It only makes sense to have him walk out with that belt and quote unquote quit the company. Baron Corbin come in with this new, cool, really awesome belt. Dolph Ziggler come back with the worst belt ever and be like, let's have a match to see who wins, just so they could not only finally get people to somewhat want Baron Corbin to win, but just so Ziggler could do the ultimate job.
Yeah, his final job.
His final job. Come in and take the shittiest looking strap out with you. That U.S. belt was fine for the time that it first came out, but
yeah, honestly, now it's very dated.
I mean, just next to all the other belts,
let's be real. Look at New Japan's.
Yeah, that
thing is majestic. That thing looks better than the heavyweight title. It does, dude. To me, that thing looks amazing.
But it's comparable. Also, I see your point. But the IWGP heavyweight title,
and especially in size, seeing that thing on,
it's huge.
It's just massive.
It's an awesome belt. Like I said, it's comparable, if not equivalent, in the way that the Universal is to the WWE title.
Yeah.
But with that said, the IWGP heavyweight title to me is the new big gold belt.
It definitely has that WCW heavyweight title look to it, but to me it's a little more majestic.
Yeah, absolutely. I love
more
all their belts.
to it. Oh yeah, all of their belts.
They do have quite a few now, though. That's something that I was thinking about recently.
And sometimes I like that though, because I like the option.
No, you know what? It's not even something I like or dislike. It's just something that makes me go like, oh yeah, there's a lot of belts over there. So that's just about it. We'll be back with another one on Wednesday. Hopefully, there's not anything bad between now, or anything too terribly bad. I don't think there's anything that we know about Raw or SmackDown going in at the moment. Other than it'll be Christmas, it'll be Chicago.
Oh, that's
Raw.
right. That's the one thing I was very surprised at, and more so thought about, just guess on a personal level, like, these guys are working on Christmas. And I know they always are working, but they're physically
if it was,
Monday
if it
Night
wasn't
Raw. on
and
Christmas.
First hour of said Raw will be commercial-less.
And SmackDown, I heard.
Oh, okay. How about
So
that?
I believe Raw and SmackDown are commercial free, and the Ring of Honor Christmas thing will be coming out, which
That's right.
is very cool because I didn't know that what they were doing, but the Simon Grimm debut is on that.
Oh, that's great because I wanted to see that.
Yeah, well, because I thought that they left it off from the TV because being there, I was like, oh, they must not use it.
Right, you assume the order, but it's just
Yeah,
that they use
yeah,
stuff
but
they filmed
and
earlier
I thought
after.
it's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Well,
And
because you got to think they're not going to debut Simon Grimm after they just made you watch the Elite versus fucking Rocky
I
and
mean,
Best Friends.
like,
All
oh, by
right,
the
and
way,
here's Simon Grimm. People be like,
even more so, ironically, how amazingly great Aiden English is doing right now.
it's awesome. The whole Rusev Day thing is awesome.
Oh, I'm so into it. I'm sold.
Hopefully we'll have like some kind of positive something on to say about them come Tuesday because, they made for entertaining TV on this past Tuesday and they were the most over. Rusev was the most over wrestler at that pay-per-view on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. I've never,
That was-
and more so, I've never seen people react for him quite
And
like
he ought
that.
to start doing the whole head shake thing to get
Yeah.
them doing it because it's only, I think it's only going to help. his
It's a
chances
small,
of
it's a
people
small
keeping that up.
thing, but it's a thing, and you know what I mean. It doesn't take that
Just
much
like
effort.
wrestling, just like all good things in wrestling, not all good things, but most good things in wrestling, whether it be the smelling what the Rock is cooking or the New Day as a whole, or just all kinds of things. It's something that doesn't really make any sense, Rusev Day,
Yeah,
but it's just awesome.
yeah, like
It's funny.
because even Sean, he's like you can tell he's kind of not into it, or not into it, but doesn't understand it. But I'm like, dude, it's not something to understand,
yeah.
and it's
It's
just,
just
it's
like-
Rusev Day. It's Rusev Day every day. You got to think about
Like,
this man
yeah.
being that's his day every day because that's the man he is.
And just let it go where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know what? If people get behind him enough, Rusev Day can turn into as serious of a thing as Suplex City.
Seriously, and I mean, think about that. Like you're gonna
For real, I'm
Suplex
just
City
saying.
can be a real thing, but
If
Rusev Day
you
can't.
if you bump Rusev Day up enough, Rusev up enough, like maybe he's always deserved. You know, maybe I'm not saying right now is a time or place, but maybe put him up against someone like Brock one day, or
I
just
could
someone
see
with that
someone like
kind of
him beating Brock, and I would believe it, and I would go, "Oh, okay, yeah, that guy can beat Brock Lesnar."
yeah, with the right kind of push and right
Yeah.
time and everything. Absolutely, I love Rusev. I always thought he was going to be the defusing to the gender situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I still actually believe that that's where that was originally intended to go, and then whatever happened happened. But that is the show. I think that's all the important stuff for the weekend. I'm gonna get some sleep. It is late Saturday
Very late.
morning or late Friday night, if you want to look at it. But yeah, we will be back Wednesday, and we're gonna actually take notes this time on Raw and SmackDown.
Oh yeah, a lot more professional setting, brother.
Well, don't talk it up. Don't use words.
This will
that,
be the greatest thing you've ever listened to on any type of speaker, headphone, whatever it is you listen on. It'll be the greatest thing you've ever listened to.
Yeah, and like it's needed because there's not enough wrestling podcasts. So
There's
I feel
there's
like,
not enough. You need more. We need more guys thousands of miles away going, you know what? Let's talk. Let's talk about wrestling.
And with that said, enjoy the royalty-free music. I don't know if we're going to use that for the intro, outro this week. Might use a little bit of Joseph.
Oh.
As always, I'm in the Joe Zone layer, unfortunately.
I am not. I'm far away from Joe's lair, but I wish I was in the Joe's
Yeah,
lair.
it's like a unfortunate thing. But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. Have a good weekend. Be safe.
Later.